This summer we've been spending a lot of time talking about live bears and projects in the fish barn. It's time to talk about another group of fish that has a heavy influence here in the fish barn, and that's my Lake Tanganyikan cichlids. Let's start out this video by taking a look at one of the most popular Lake Tanganyikan fish, the shell dwellers. The current species that you're looking at are my Cyprichromis species, temporalis shell. I purchased this colony back in 2022 at the Grand Valley Aquarium Club auction, and as you can see, they've done quite well for me, reproducing numerous spawns. This is an extremely easy fish to keep, requiring just your normal tropical temperatures and hard water. The current pH in my fish room ranges from about 7.8 to 8.0, which is perfect for Lake Tanganyikan cichlids. And as you can see, these fish are very prolific breeders, with the parents taking great care of the young. The next species is one of the most popular shell dwellers, the Neolamprologus similis. I have these fish in a 40-gallon breeder, and they've done great for me. In the majority of my shell dweller tanks, I use escargot shells that you can find easily on Amazon. This is just an amazing fish to watch as they interact with one another and are constantly rearranging their tank. I would highly encourage anyone to have a shell dweller tank in their collection. The third shell dweller species that I keep in my fish room are these Lamprologus ocellatus gold. I picked these fish up at the club meeting in March when Jason Adams from Primetime Aquatics was speaking. I do need to do some more work on this tank and create some more artificial caves out of PVC for these fish, since it's widely known that they predate on their young. This is definitely a beautiful species, and one that I need to make a better effort towards breeding here in the fish barn. Cyprichromis are my favorite species from Lake Tanganyikan. I just really enjoy their awesome colors and schooling behaviors. The species that you're currently looking at are my Cyprichromis leptosoma blue flash. I purchased these fish back in October of 2021, and this colony has been growing quite nicely. I started out with about a group of 10 fish or so, and this fish does spawn for me on a regular basis. I have them in this 55-gallon aquarium, which I think is a great size for keeping Cyprichromis, and doesn't take up a whole lot of space in your fish room. I really do just enjoy the colors of this fish, and like I said earlier, the schooling behavior. This next group of Cyprichromis I purchased from Jason Adams from Primetime Aquatics back in 2021. These are Cyprichromis leptosoma as well, but I don't have the specific location information for these fish. Like the blue flash, these fish have done extremely well for me and have been great at producing fry. I'm currently keeping these in a 40 breeder, which is another great tank size for keeping this fish. If you're looking into keeping Cyprichromis, I would highly encourage you to try and find them locally, since Cyprichromis are notoriously poor shippers. This next group of Cyprichromis are my Cyprichromis leptosoma lavua blue orchid. I've had this group since November of 2022, and I'm currently housing 4 individuals in this 40 breeder. Unfortunately, I've not seen a dominant male color up yet, but when they do, the dominant males will have a blue body with a yellow face. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing a dominant male develop at some point, and hopefully someday we'll also see some fry. I'll keep you updated when the dominant male does appear. So let's head upstairs to my 70-gallon tank and check out my Cyprichromis microlepidotus caramba. I've also had these fish since November of 2022, and they're in a similar situation to the blue orchids. When I purchased these fish, they were rather small fry, but they've grown up quite nicely. Like the blue orchids, I'm still waiting for a dominant male to appear, and the dominant male in this species almost has a metallic blue color with a yellow front portion of their body. I would highly encourage you to look them up because they're absolutely stunning. So let's head to the third group of Tanganyikans that I have here in the fish barn, and that's the Tropheus. This first tank you're looking at are home to my Tropheus maplungu. I purchased 3 individuals at the Triple Crown Convention in the summer of 2022. I was a little bit concerned when I purchased them because you generally want to start out with a group of 6 or more when you're dealing with Tropheus. However, this has worked out quite nicely with the original group producing a ton of fry. I really do enjoy the orange and black coloration on these fish, and I really do think they pop here in the fish room. I'm currently keeping this group in a 75-gallon tank, which is heavily planted with Vallisneria, which provides great protection for the fry. I really do enjoy this fish, and it's one of my absolute favorite fish here in the fish barn. The second Tropheus tank that I have is a 125-gallon tank that's home to my Tropheus Melorio red morai. I got the original fish for this colony from my friend Scott, whose fish room that I've filmed a couple of times here on the channel. Like the Maplungu we just spoke of, these fish have been great breeders and have produced numerous fry. Both of my Tropheus species really do seem to enjoy the extreme big fella pellets. I haven't seen any signs of bloating, which is often a concern when it comes to Tropheus. There are 2 other tanks that house Lake Tanganyikan fish that I want to show you. The first tank is my 150-gallon Lake Tanganyikan community tank, which is home to a few different species. Living towards the bottom of the tank, you'll find my Lamprologus ornata pinus, which I think is a pretty cool looking shell dweller species. The whitest fish is a Cyprichromis pleurospilus flame rainbow, which spends most of its time mid-water. There's also a pair of Cyprichromis blue neon, as well as an Lamprologus compressiceps redfin that inhabit this tank as well. I really do enjoy watching all the fish in this tank interact with one another. The second tank is home to a very interesting fish, and that's my 7-stripe frontosa, which I got a couple years ago from Sergeant Tank. Unfortunately, this fish does have a little bit of an attitude and does need to live by itself since it doesn't get along with other larger fish. He's been doing quite well here in this 75-gallon tank, where he just hangs out amongst the Vallisneria and the rockwork. This is another fish that I found that really enjoys the extreme big fella pellets. I really do hope you enjoyed taking a look at all my Lake Tanganyikan fish. At the end of the video here, I'll go ahead and put a link to a playlist where you can find the care guides if you want to go a little bit more in depth and learn a little bit more about each one of these fish. So with that, stay safe, stay fishy, and I'll see you on the next video.